This is What the Flock Radio's Birds of a Feather. We are an indie music focused show rife with witty, fuck-laden, insanely interesting, and unhinged banter. Our thematic submissions will confuse, infuse, and delight you, while our fascinating fun features fluster, flummox, fulfill, and thrill you. I am the vocalist for the dark alt-rock band Ascent, but before we get to me, who are you?
I'm Professor P-Soop, international rock legend and radiant savant, and people who knew me 5 years ago, they could very plainly see how my mind has turned into applesauce since then.
What the fuck?
But I still do the show for the modicum of stimulation to keep the applesauce from congealing. You know, I was rather taken with your intro concept of who dat, so I am delivering my own this week. I'm a big man with a big mouth and a big ego who emigrated from a tiny little country in the Middle East. Me and my partner have kept our band going for almost 50 years through 5 lineup changes. My tongue is always wagging and my cash register is always ringing, and I am without question a master merchandiser, and even those who hate my band will admit I'm the king of the brand, even claiming to invent a certain gesture of the hand. So who dat? Who am I?
It's Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons, see? Did I say accessible? It was accessible.
So I guess that makes it time for my who dat. This Manchester-born musician is temperamental, tantrum-prone, and hypersensitive. His lyrics drip with disdain, emotional isolation, and sexual longing, and have been studied by scholars. His baritone vocals are moody, melodic, and melancholic. He has been ruled as devious, truculent, and unreliable by the English High Court and has been questioned by Scotland Yard. He has a love-hate relationship with Sundays, plays Ouija board, and would like to drop his trousers to the Queen.
My goodness. No, let me think. I got no guess. Who is it?
It's Morrissey.
Ah.
Long live Moz. Moz is the bomb. So now it is time for the beloved little mini feature called Bird Banter. And this time, the topic is songs that have been played to death. And boy, there are no shortage of these. But I think these are some of the top contenders. Some I found out there, and some I came up with myself. Will you be able to tell the difference? Probably not. I actually agree that these are all played to death, but some of them I can still stomach, and some of them I still like to hear, but they have all been played to death. Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses.
Not quite, but...
Confirmed played to death, still love it, but confirmed, I've probably heard that song 300 times.
It's played to death if you no longer love it and can no longer tolerate hearing it. That's a short list, but go ahead.
Back in Black, AC/DC, for sure.
Always welcome, always.
No way, played to death. Stairway to Heaven.
I can pretty much always take it when it comes on.
Next song, please. I've heard it a million times, and it's not like it's a super short song. Yesterday, The Beatles.
It gets a hell of a lot of play, I'll say that.
Gets a hell of a lot of play.
It doesn't get enough where I can't listen to it, though. But
yeah, I love that song. I honestly have listened to it so many times, and I don't get sick of it.
There's a reason it's so iconic.
But it has been played to death.
Yes.
I can confirm it's been played to death and still say that I love it. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I was going to use the C word, but I...
Be careful.
It rhymes with Blank Park, you know, that movie about the dinosaurs. You know, it rhymes with the title of that. And it starts with C. Let me just say that. I was going to say that, but for the recent prohibition on using that word.
It is not.
Listen to the last show, and you'll find out why we no longer say that word.
It doesn't matter.
Public shaming, folks. Public shaming.
That is not.
It is a something, though. And no, I can always listen to it. It's akin to Welcome to the Jungle and the always hear part. Always listen to.
No. Paradise City, yes. Welcome to the Jungle? No, I'm good.
Well, Paradise City, double yes, yeah.
Van Halen's Jump.
That gets a hell of a lot of play.
That's been played to death as well. I always welcome that song. But it has been played to fucking death. No more so than probably... the Eagles' Hotel California.
Imagine having a quarter for every time you've heard Hotel California in your life.
That's why they're fucking rich. That's what it is.
You'd own the Hotel California, you know.
Smoke on the Water, Deep Purple. I'm so fucking sick of that song.
That was on my never played out list, actually.
The last one on the list is Another Brick in the Wall, Pink Floyd.
Wow. Just listened to that today. Part of a medley with the Hollywood Vampire Schools out, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. That gets a lot of play. No question about it. Played to death. But,
and I don't need to hear it again.
Well, it's hard to scoff at Gilmore. You know.
No, I scoff at the song Gilmore. I don't.
And Bob Ezrin's idea for the children's choir. Yeah. Brevity is the soul of wit, so I'm just going to mention a couple in passing that I never get sick of, and some more that are not on the list that are played to absolute hell and death, and I cannot stand them. Light My Fire by the Doors, I'm always ready to hear that. I'm sorry, but I'm always ready to hear that. The ones I never want to hear again, Beast of Burden. Sorry, I know I jokingly called Christina that on Winging It, but Beast of Burden, I'm so sick of that one. She's looking blank. You know it, right?
Yeah. I could do without that song.
Start Me Up also. And Freaking Layla and Lola. Never again. But that's it, though. You know, I get to recap the theme of the show, which will be facing you for an hour or so. And this week's theme is, and I'm going to need some help with this one, Karma ChamelHeron.
Yes.
ChamelHeron? Yeah.
Yes.
Is that how it's pronounced? Karma? Because it's not an actual word or anything.
We should have practiced this before the show.
ChamelHeron is not a word. Karma
No.
ChamelHeron. Yes.
Yes.
We love herons. We really do. And, songs about karma, cause and effect, revenge, or getting even. Comeuppance tunes, indeed, on the show.
We got some doozies.
ChamelHeron. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Exciting to hear.
Yes.
And the next feature is a new one. Yes, Christina is back with one or perhaps even more than one new feature. And it's called Just a Spoonbill, that's a bird, of Shade.
The shade is a bird, too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. The nightshade. Shade. No, that's a flower, isn't it? There is a bird called Shade, and there's a bird called Kite, and there are all kinds of birds. With Kite is a great bird name. Yeah. But Shade is slang for disrespect or trash talking. And that one's been around long enough for even geezers like me to know. Perhaps there are even geezers out there who aren't familiar. Or perhaps people who have a fucking life and don't hear terms like that, you know. And for this feature, we discuss the shadiest of shade thrown by musicians and those that love or hate them. The music world has seen its share of feuds and counter-diss exchanges, from belligerent broadsides to subtle side swipes. And they don't all center around the members of Nirvana or their relatives either. Just 80% of them, yeah.
Right?
There are some doozies in that.
And you may have thrown some of that shade yourself.
No!
Oh, not you.
Not me. I don't think she killed Kurt.
Even if you may have...
Even if I joked about it.
Joked about it, yes.
Killed him, yeah.
No one knows who killed him, or himself, or
Same.
Whatever.
Well, this time it's a case of legend versus legend. One-sided, actually. It's a one-sided feud, you know, as far as I know. I mean, which evolved from acerbic dismissal to a mere damning with faint praise.
Oh, my.
You know, you get old, you get mellow, and suddenly you start spewing all everybody, and you kind of, all right, well, let's live and let live. All right, and this time the legend in question is a fellow I hold in high esteem and someone Christina believes to be the salvation of The Who, to the extent that they're saved at all, Mr. Pete Townsend.
Yes.
And he's known for being vitriolic and kind of hot-headed and, you know, mercurial, especially in his early days, but everybody kind of mellows. During the interview, there was a conversation around the idea of musical quality, something Townsend shrugs as irrelevant to him and his band. That's a hell of a thing to say. We're not really about quality.
I think that's a problem.
That sounds like a potential problem, at least. The interviewer then suggests the Beatles have quality. Oh, that's a tough question, the guitarist replied with a sneering smile. He continued, actually, this afternoon, John, that's Entwistle, and I were listening to a stereo LP of the Beatles, in which the voices come out of the one side and the backing track comes out of the other. When you actually hear the backing tracks of the Beatles without their voices, they're flippin' lousy, which is pretty shocking considering the music of the era. I would hold anything of the Beatles up to the Who's and then some.
Please. Please.
You know, quality matters. I'm not saying the Who don't have it and didn't have it from the start.
No, I'm saying they don't.
Let's be honest. I mean, the Beatles, going after the Beatles, it isn't because they're unassailable. It's just because they're simply better. You know?
Well, that's true.
Yeah. It's a powerful statement from Townsend that showed he didn't hold the Beatles on the same pedestal as everyone else did.
Or himself.
In 1982, Townsend took a more subtle swing at the Beatles.
Uh-oh.
During an interview with Rolling Stone, McCartney's tug of war arose in conversation. They have to keep asking him shit. They know he loves to talk, you know.
Oh, yeah.
The interviewer says it has, quote, virtually nothing to do with rock and roll. That's McCartney's Tug of War album. In response to that, Pete Townsend bluntly asked if McCartney, quote, ever really had anything to do with rock. Period. Now, this cancerous idea is quite metastasized. It's quite widespread here.
Oh, my God.
No, he never did, Townsend immediately replied to his own question in the blink of an eye. I could sit down and have a conversation with Paul, that's Sir Paul to you, about rock and roll, and we'd be talking about two different things.
What?
I never thought of them like that, musically, The Who and the Beatles. I considered them the same thing.
Well, I would not, but...
Finally, decades later, I told you, we mellow as we get old. Even me, well, maybe not as much. Townsend put down the pretense and admitted his love for the Fab Four. And here comes the damning with faint praise part. He said, quote, I wasn't crazy impressed with the Beatles when I first heard them, but I loved them. I did love them, he reiterates. They were joyful, they were funny, they were more a pop group than I would have liked, but they had this incredible image. They were delightful, absolutely delightful. There's another C word that isn't banned, like the one that rhymes with Jurassic, that you often use. It sounds like he's saying that about the Beatles.
Yeah, it sounds like he's saying they're cute.
They're cute. He sounds like, oh, isn't that cute? We're talking about the Beatles here.
The
honestly.
Beatles are classic.
The Beatles, yeah. I mean,
Come on.
The C word is
that's
been
applicable.
For that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there are plenty of really hilarious ones, little digs here and there. Like I said, mostly swirling around Nirvana and Courtney Love and Dave Grohl and anybody they ever knew in life. And as I suggested earlier, it's pretty much a one-sided feud. I have no reports I could find of McCartney going to the fence and firing a couple of rounds off himself. He's pretty much content to just be Paul McCartney. But anyway,
I'm sure he laughs his ass off.
I mean, I get that everybody doesn't feel the same way about the Beatles as I do, but everything. But it's hardly fit to call them lousy or to call them cute or call them a pop group. As I said, okay, well, there's either a feature that you do or a song that somebody else does. The Me Too thing has run its course for a while.
Yes.
It's finally like actual fall/winter type weather here. Sometimes it gets down into the 40s at night.
Yeah.
But it's dry as freaking dust, and it really plays hell with your throat, especially when you're trying to do radio and going out to dinner and yak and all that stuff. So I'm drinking tea. I'm paying the cost here to try to bring you the best show. But, it's awfully dry here, so sorry if I sound a little hoarse.
More tea.
More beverages.
More beverages. Beautiful, big, beautiful beverages.
Well, it does not specify. It merely talks about a song, and I'm going to defer that to you, right?
Yes, this is Rosanna Lefevre, and she is a call. Try again, a call. Yes, our first song of 5 is by Rosanna Lefevre, and her song is aptly named Karma. And she's from the UK. She is a singer-songwriter, and we are going to take a listen. And we'll share, of course, our thoughts following each song, which is fun because I listened to these songs one time, usually a few weeks ago.
Kind of no getting around that.
Right. And then this is the first time that David will hear them. And then we will share our thoughts. So we shall return.
I heard you've got someone new. Does she know what you put me through? Karma's a bitch and she's coming for you. Dressed in black with my name tattooed. She's coming for you. Dressed in black with my name tattooed. Does she know what you put me through? Karma's a bitch and she's coming for you. Dressed in black with my name tattooed.
All right, so my goodness, Karma. So, because I've heard this before once, briefly, I'm going to turn it over to you first.
Yeah, it makes a very strong and big impression, as I'm sure it did with you the first time, but I won't put words in your mouth.
Absolutely.
It has this just fabulous, tasty European keyboard menace thing going. She's grinning like, yeah, that's what I thought, you know.
Totally.
And yet, the sonic motif is kind of like this swampy southern thing.
Absolutely.
And if you know my disdain for country, but at the outer fringes, there's about 0.5% of stuff that's really good, or at least passable. This is the kind of vocal you get that you just love. It's like, oh, you're this isn't country. This doesn't, this is rock, and this is great. Fabulous vocal. And musically, they seem to have pulled the, and this is no mean feat, having like a dance floor in a swamp kind of a thing. It really is. It's kind of like this wonderful crossover thing.
It really is.
So good, so confident. So, I mean, these people they know what they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. The lyric at the end paints this stark, terrifying visual. Karma's a bitch, she's coming for you, dressed in black with my name tattooed.
Yep.
This is putting your mind with its waning breaths. I mean, it goes out every bit as strong as it starts. It's it's just a great, great tune.
It is
Hell of a find you have here.
Seriously, it was just, I remember, and it starts so strong, and right away that soulful pop, but with a little nod to maybe a folk background I hear in her voice. But it definitely is soulful pop,
remotely Americana-ish.
Yeah,
too,
there's it just in her
that whole southern swampy Americana. It has all of that. You know?
It does, and it's just a nod. It's not. I mean, clearly her goal is to be more soulful and pop, but she can't help it. You can take the girl out of the swamp, can't take the swamp out of the girl, and I love it. It's perfect. When she goes into that really low register, it's just beautiful and it's magic. And at first, I was kind of struck by it, and it was in a good way. I thought, oh my God, listen to her range and listen to her sing, and her voice is so clear and beautiful. And I just thought, my gosh, it's so great, and it's paired perfectly with the music. And I love that it's short, it's impactful, it's memorable, and it's so sinister.
Yes, with that wonderful build-up, it is so sinister. There's so much menace.
Yes.
When the icy last line drops, it's like, this is just the best possible way to end this.
It is. What more do you have to say at that point?
Yeah, they've done it all. And what more can I say about you? Not only have you found a song on point here, theme-wise, you found a song with the half of the title of the theme in it. Now,
That's right.
And I have, even as much confidence as I have in you, I doubt even you have come up with one called ChamelHeron. So I think we're just going to settle for being on theme this time.
Yes.
Great song,
true.
a great title, and a good theme there. And that totally nailed being on point. And now I see some red ink here.
There is some red ink, but before I want to tell you where you can.
It doesn't mean debt, although we are in debt. You could always donate to our Patreon.
That's true. Do we have one of those?
No, we don't.
Okay, fair enough. So I want to tell you where you can find her on Facebook, and here's how it's spelled: ROSANNA. LEFEVRE official. Now that will also be on our Podbean page for this particular episode, so you can also find it there. But she is definitely worth listening to. She's got a whole bunch of work out there. This is just one of many amazing songs by this amazing artist.
Yeah, they must live out on the moors, the swamps and stuff, with the Hound of the Baskervilles, you know.
Well, what could be next? Could it be another new feature? It probably is. And this one is called Hard to Swallow. Yes, the swallow is a bird. And there might be some, suggestions there. But for this feature, we discuss artists that have crossed over from one genre to another, whether it be intentional or unintentional. Is it too hard to swallow, or does it go down easy? Now, this is one of our new features that I'm taking on myself this week. And another time we'll hand it over to David. But this time we're going to be talking about Yes, and the song is Owner of a Lonely Heart. Now, Yes is known for their lengthy progressive rock, art rock songs with lyrics that are largely imperceptible because it's John Anderson. And some of Yes's highest charting songs are Roundabout, which only reached number 13, Leave It, which reached number 24, and Love Will Find a Way, which only reached number 30. In fact, Yes has released 18 mostly incredible albums that the pop-loving public has likely never heard. However, in November 1983, all of that changed. Yes went from prog, art rock, to pop rock with one song with a little help from their friend, Trevor Rabin. Now, Trevor would become part of a new formation of Yes as a guitarist and singer. However, it was a trip to the loo that resulted in the band's one and only U.S. number one. After a lengthy visit, he emerged with a bulk of Owner of a Lonely Heart. Now, the band that recorded the song wasn't even supposed to be called Yes. Yes had broken up. They were supposed to be called Cinema and didn't originally even include John Anderson. The travesty. I can't even imagine that. Well, John Anderson eventually did join and sings the verses on Owner of a Lonely Heart and is a key player on 90125, which is a brilliant album. So why were they called Yes? You guessed it, the label demanded it. Owner of a Lonely Heart is not your usual pop song, but it speaks to the masses as much now as it did in 1983. It has all the ingredients needed to make a classic rock song, except it includes one of the greatest, if not the greatest, bass players of all time and killer riffs and a solo that likely made some wannabe rock star guitarists reconsider, because Trevor Rabin is a kick-ass guitarist. Add to it the elfin vocals of the incomparable John Anderson, and now you know why it was a breakout hit for Yes. Not that they needed it. They were beloved worldwide before the song ever hit the airwaves, but certainly earned a whole new legion of fans that discovered their entire catalog and were either confused, turned off, or awakened.
It is different for them. I mean, even you can't even picture this song on the albums like the ones that crotchety old grumpy old dude Rick Wakeman liked, Going for the One and Tomato. Even those more, bite-sized, accessible records, this is still much more mainstream, much more pop. But damned if it isn't enjoyable. And you said the whole album, you're going to be shocked, but I've never heard the entire album. I know a fair amount of it. But,
that's unfortunate.
I'm sure it is. And I admit to being ashamed of myself over that.
So you publicly shamed yourself.
I'm shaming myself, yeah.
So for me, this went down really nice and easy. Now, I will say when I listened to all of Yes's catalog, this doesn't go down as easy. But being the pop-loving person that I am and the prog-loving person that I am, I'm okay with it. Now, I wish that people gave a lot more credence to things like Heart of the Sunrise, of course, and, all kinds of amazing songs that Yes does, including everything on Fragile, everything on the Yes album. But you know what? If this is your gateway drug to all good things Yes and all things Yes, then I think it's a great gateway drug, and I'm glad we have it. And indulge in all things Yes, and you will be very happy.
Yeah, I would have to say, and the elfin Mr. Anderson. Now this is a very, it's poppy, but it's also pretty aggressive. But they were a hard rock band from way back when they want to be, and so he may be elfin, but John Anderson rocks. And this is, kind of like more almost meat and potatoes. I mean, it's accessible. It's danceable, but it's still a little bit progressive and everything. And I would kind of wish for them not to spend too long in this area. But
they didn't spend as much time here as some people would have liked. I think they spent more than enough time. I think it was ample, and I'm glad that they went back to their prog roots. Although they did have with Magnification, they kind of went a little bit pop. So I think if you are looking for lighter fare, check out Magnification, which I believe was their last album as with the traditional lineup. So that is it for Hard to Swallow. It went down easy for me, so it wasn't hard to swallow.
Must have been that spoonful of sugar.
Spoonbill
of sugar making the medicine go down. That's right.
All right, so the next artist is The Anchoress, and the song is What Goes Around. Now, The Anchoress is a pseudonym for Catherine Ann Davies. Now, Catherine is from the UK, and now I consider her genre to be pop, but let me tell you how she describes her sound. She has found a room beneath pop's playground in the basement of Prague's castle, creating her one-woman sonic vision. Well, let's take a listen to The Anchoress.
I know
that you'll regret. What goes around comes around. You know you're gonna get it, and you know when you embark upon revenge, you better dig two graves, my friends. Revenge is a dish so cold. What goes around comes around. You know you're gonna get it. Around, around, you know you're gonna get what goes around. Around, you know you're gonna get what goes around. Comes around, and you know you're gonna get what goes around. Comes around, so you know you're going down. So you better watch your back, 'cause every seed that you sown turned black. Never thought you would stoop so low, and now everyone will know. Oh my God, I never would believe it. Oh my God, say you didn't mean it. Oh my God, I never would believe it. Oh my God, say you didn't mean it. Around, around, you know you're gonna get what goes around. Around, you know you're gonna get what goes around. Comes around, and you know you're gonna get what goes around. Comes around, so you know you're going down. So you better watch your back, 'cause every seed that you sown turned black. Never thought you would stoop so low, now everyone will know. Oh no, I think I said it, and you knew that they would spread it pretty soon. Yeah, you'll regret what goes around comes around, and you know you're gonna get it, yeah, you know. And then I'm all about revenge, and you will get your sticky end. I heard you practiced on my friends. You got around, and now you're gonna get what goes around, around, and now you're gonna get what goes around, around. You know you're gonna get what goes around, comes around, and you know you're gonna get what goes around, comes around, so you know you're going down. So you better watch your back, 'cause every seed that you sown turned black. Never thought you would stoop so low, and now everyone will know. When you fall in the gutter, I won't shed a tear, 'cause you had it coming for years. It's too long ago, shouldn't care anymore. There's something that you need to hear. For every action in this world, there's an equal and opposite action to be considered. No, it's nothing to do with your karma, my friend. No, it's just scientific, my dear. Oh my God, I never would believe it. Oh my God, say you didn't mean it. Oh my God, I never would believe it. Oh my God, say you didn't mean it. Around, around, you know you're gonna get what goes around. Around, you know you're gonna get what goes around. Comes around, and you know you're gonna get what goes around. Comes around, so you know you're going down. So you better watch your back, 'cause every seed that you sown turned black. Never thought you would stoop so low, now everyone will know.
All right. So, David, the anchoress, what goes around? Where'd you land on this one?
Yeah, well, I was caught up in this because it has that swingy thing. Well, it has a really sultry female vocal, but the music, the best way I can think of it is it sounds like Sheena Easton singing for '80s Queen. I mean, it's
Wow.
She's like, what? But that's just how it hit me. The bass absolutely rocks my world. It just has this. It has this wonderful syncopation rhythm.
It does. It's kind of driving and propulsive. I love it.
And it's poppy, but it isn't. It's not afraid to bash the drums and knock you around. I mean, it isn't afraid to make noise. It's a hard song too, and I love how it's kind of stitched together, incorporating almost every revenge quote or proverb or it's basically all kinds of quotes that you know already. No, I loved it. I loved every second of it. Really. Good find there, Headhunter, I got to say.
Well, I thought it was catchy from moment one, which really grabbed me. And the melody and instrumentation is perfect. It's pop, it's prog, and it's a little jazzy, which I really like. I definitely feel a little jazz influence in there. And I love the, oh no. There's that sassiness and that sexiness and a little playful. And she's so restrained. She isn't indulgent vocally at all. And she only gives what's needed. And that is so important because if they're overly indulgent, sometimes it ruins the song. But in this case, she's so restrained. And I love the strings on the bridge and the harmonies. I thought, what a beautiful way to kind of break it down. The strings were perfect. And I think toward the end, there was a touch of vaudeville, which made me kind of happy too. I just think it's like a 1-2 punch. I thought it was really, really great. And you can find her on Facebook at The Anchoress, and that's the ANCHORESS.
But life is a cabaret, and it's the kind of place where you hear a song like this, and it has that, like you said, that show, vaudeville, music hall kind of vibe to it, and I absolutely loved it. Uh-oh, I'm afraid to ask.
It's your turn.
It's my turn to strike back, along with history. Tony the Tiger calling a baseball game. History strikes back. For this feature, we traveled back in time to a particular year to review bands, music, charts, and pop culture for whatever randomly selected year. And this year is one you'll be truly surprised and probably a little skeptical that we haven't covered this one already, but we have not.
Oh, the suspense.
And I know there'll be some smirking and pursing of lips going on when I say 1978, because surely we've covered all of the 70s. But no, we have. We actually missed this one.
Hey.
And here's one.
It was a good year. It was a very good year.
It was a good year, and something interesting happened, and I know a lot of you were not around back then. A lot. But
I was just around.
Yeah, I mean, but no real recollection. And it's interesting to think, wow, everything is so different now. This is when stuff was new. For example, of interest and by way of essential knowledge to recording artists, the Copyright Act of 1976 takes effect, making sweeping changes to United States copyright law. And under this act, the Section 102 says copyright protection extends to original works that are fixed in a tangible medium of expression. So you record your record, and it's copyrighted. You don't have to send a copy to the Library of Congress or anything like that. I mean, you could, but so that's kind of meaningful to us, you know. Mm-hmm. The first, get this, global positioning satellite, the Rockwell International built, Navstar 1 is launched by the United States GPS, folks, for the first time.
Nice.
It was kind of the year of the serial killer. We had Son of Sam is sentenced to only 365 years in prison.
That's too little.
Now, for you really young folks, you might not get this, but for us, Son of Sam is always going to be a reference in a Cypress Hill song. You know, damn, I feel like the Son of Sam. Insane in the brain. Now, this one was, and I remember this, the first computer bulletin board system is created. Basically blogs. I mean, we do that, you know, with one hand and eat with the other. I mean, we brush our teeth with one hand and we're blogging with the other, and that was the first time. Space Invaders doesn't interest me exactly, but Space Invaders arcade video game.
Loved Space Invaders.
It was a big thing culturally.
So fun.
I don't know how I avoided that, but
yeah, I don't know either. Because I lived at the arcade. Literally, I don't even know how much money I dropped at the arcade. And for those people from Arizona, golf and stuff, which is I think gone now. But golf and stuff, I lived there. It was the best arcade ever.
I think I did Pong and Donkey Kong in arcades.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had arcades, but after that, I honestly did not play video games.
Ms. Pac-Man, bitches.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, Ghosts and all that shit.
Centipede.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And, all that Space Invaders.
Galaga.
I think I missed that one. So, yeah, I know. I didn't really live. I understand that.
Hey, there are arcades now. We can make up for it.
There was there was Unabomber and shit. I mean, you know, this is...
It's a bad time, yeah.
Surprisingly little, though, in the way of science and technology compared to other years. I guess all the great minds were hiding out from the serial killers. Or
no, it makes sense.
Perhaps they were the serial killers.
They were probably either that
killers.
Or they were being targeted by serial killers, so they became serial killers.
So you stayed home to stay clear of the serial killers.
Makes
what
sense.
did you watch on television?
Good segue. Wow.
What goes nationwide on the air? Showtime. Yes, actual Showtime.
Oh.
The Blues Brothers make their first appearance on Saturday Night Live, which, of course, we know where that went afterwards. You know, records, movies, you name it. Introduced in a skit by Paul Schaefer, the great Paul Schaefer, as Don Kirshner. Hilarious, you know. Little did they know, right?
Right.
Shows that debuted that year included Mork and Mindy.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Nanu Nanu. I actually watched it very, very little, but
oh my God, Mork calling Orson, come in.
Yeah,
Orson.
Yeah. Nanu Nanu.
I watched it religiously.
It was cute. It was. Oh, not that kind of cute.
No, cute in a good way.
Dallas
Aye.
gave birth.
Who shot JR?
Who did shoot JR?
I don't know.
Gave birth to the modern-day primetime soap. It was all pretty much daytime before that, and then soaps moved to the nighttime.
Right? That's right.
Falcon Crest and Dynasty. Get this, Fantasy Island.
Oh, one of my favorites, too.
There's a
the plane.
And that's a Bond. That's a legitimate
Tattoo.
Bond tie right there. A legitimate Bond tie, because Hervé Villechaize, who played Tattoo, was a henchman. And the only henchman, there's always a henchman in the old James Bond movies who would come back after the good guy after the villain was dead, who's not on the payroll anymore. He just wants revenge anyway. Well, this time it was Hervé Villechaize, but Bond didn't kill him, because does anybody really want to see Hervé Villechaize get killed? No. WKRP in Cincinnati.
Loved that show.
I figured you did, and I watched it very little.
I
However,
loved it so much.
I was a big fan of his next one,
Johnny
Taxi.
Fever. Johnny Fever.
Taxi.
Yeah, that I was I think too young to get Taxi.
See, that's the thing.
I liked Lotka.
It's the generation.
I will tell you, I liked Lotka.
It's the generation gap.
And I thought the Tony Danza character, whatever, he was hot. I remember thinking he was super cute.
Well, I mean, Mary Lou Henner was on that.
Yeah, she didn't. I mean, I'm not into chicks, so yeah.
If you were, you'd love her.
Yeah, she didn't do anything for me.
She's really, 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 really smart too, which is super hot. Anyway, I drove a taxi in New York City, and everybody would ask me. I swear, no joke. Everybody, once they realized that I spoke fluent English, they would ask me if the dispatcher was like Bluey, which was a character played by Danny DeVito. For those of you, who
which
don't
was
know.
brilliantly played.
Of course, it was. He
was
DeVito.
Incredible.
It was. He made the show. It was fantastic. The last year for the a special couple. Oh, they really weren't a couple, were they? The $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman.
Yay, Bionic Woman.
What's that?
Yay, Bionic Woman.
Were they like a couple? I forget. And this...
My little brother would know.
This was a big one to me. Carol Burnett's show.
Yes.
Last year.
Very good.
Maude Beretta. Keep your eye on the sparrow. And keep your eye on Robert Blake, because he's going to kill you.
He's probably going to kill you.
Yeah.
He's one of the serial killers,
Yes, that's
he
right.
led the charge.
See, people stayed home and watched Robert Blake, because if they figured if they went out on the street, they might run into Robert Blake.
That's right, and he would fucking hack him up.
Well, he has said he's going out looking for people to kill and couldn't find them.
Sure, I hate it when that happens.
How do you know he might not settle on you?
We're all fair game.
And what about film, though? Movies, cinema, or as I pretentiously like to call them, what do I call them?
Films or pictures.
Pictures. They're pictures.
You call them films, too.
Yeah, I do. That's true. But the ultimate...
I call them movies.
The most pretentious one of all is pictures.
Is pictures. I was watching this picture. Oh, my.
I thought it was a fine picture.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, me mum was still managing movie theaters, and I still spent an inordinate amount of time in them.
Watching movies.
Yeah, so what kind of stuff did I watch? The big kahuna that year, 1978, Superman, starring Christopher Reeve, the man. And second one, what was the word that you heard that's got move, that's got feeling, or whatever the hell it is? I forget the line. Little
Grease is the word.
Little Gibbs song there, starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, had its world premiere at Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Highest grossing musical ever.
Can't even tell you how many times I've seen that movie. I don't even know.
I would say it was a hit, a very palpable hit.
Huge.
Okay. Well, a broad and sometimes coarse brand of comedy was king, as evidenced by number 3, Animal House.
Not my bag.
Yeah, not too much my bag either.
Huge, though. People loved it.
Every Which Way But Loose, rowdy comedy with Clint Eastwood, beginning of a series, nothing that special either. Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty. Hooper with Burt Reynolds. This is the kind of stuff I'm not into. Jaws 2, yeah, not really into that either. Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong. Sorry, boys.
No thanks.
Revenge of the Pink Panther. Okay, now you're talking. I like Pink Panther. And The Deer Hunter. Boy, wasn't that alarming? Wasn't that great a year for movies?
Meh.
At least on the top for me.
I agree.
All right, and file these under unresolved franchises. They are still with us. Production begins on Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Still haven't gotten rid of that one yet.
Nope.
Halloween is released. Also still very much with us.
Yes.
Brand new one, and one next year, too. Jamie Lee Curtis still at it. In music, though, we had an event called California Jam 2 here in Ontario, California. Of course, you wouldn't remember that.
No idea.
300,000 people coming in to see Nugent, Aerosmith, Heart, Foreigner, etc. It was the 70s. Sir Barry Gibb becomes the only songwriter in history to have written 4 consecutive #1 singles on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. Wow. That's
pretty amazing.
No doubt in part due to Saturday Night Fever, which became a cultural phenomenon. The soundtrack hits #1 on the Billboard charts, where it will stay until July. And incredibly enough, and I don't know who was thinking, what they were thinking when they did this, but my high school took us on a trip to a disco. We took kids, high school kids on a trip to a disco. So we went to an actual disco. It was the only time I ever really went. But it's pretty fucking cool. Disco was on the ascent, but rock and rollers were still behaving badly. Sid killed Nancy. Keith Richards pled guilty. Keith Moon and Chicago guitarist Terry Kath both died accidentally. Terrible. The former ODing on prescription pills, and the latter with a bullet to the head. I forgot all about that Terry Kath thing. Terrible. And a little music-movie crossover. The Picture, the film. No, this one doesn't deserve to be called a picture. The flick. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, a much-typed musical film starring Peter Frampton and the Bee Gees performing the music of the Beatles, opens in theaters. The film is savaged by critics, and rightly so, I would say, and ultimately flops, and we'll observe a brief moment of silent meditation for those of you who did not see this thing to give thanks, because it's pretty intolerable. The 7th annual Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, back when Dick Clark was still alive, and that still goes on, without Dick, of course, unfortunately. And who was on it? New Year's Eve, nationwide television. Who was on? ABC, Barry Manilow, The Village People. Now, I mean, I would weep with joy if somebody appeared on New Year's Rockin' Eve like that today. You know, Chuck Mangione, Tanya Tucker, and Rick James. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Maybe it kept him warm on New Year's Eve. I don't know. Debut albums by Kate Bush, Van Halen. First year for Van Halen, The Cars, Dire Straits, The Police, Public Image Limited, I'm sure you just love them, The Blues Brothers, Generation X, that's Billy Idol's band, Tim Curry, Devo, a prog supergroup you probably like, UK, or at least to consider, Whitesnake, first year, Susie and the Banshees, and of course, Prince, 1978.
Hell yeah.
And the classic albums that I drove around skipping school listening to in I was a junior in high school, include Rolling Stones' Some Girls. You listened to it a lot back then. Doesn't really hold up quite as well as it did. Moody Blues Octave, big comeback for those boys. And it was a good year for young girls because we had Andy Gibb and Sean Cassidy. Holy cow. The Who Are You, Boston, Don't Look Back, saw the tour. Styx, Pieces of Eight, saw that tour. Foreigner, Double Vision, saw the tour. David Bowie Stage, saw the tour. Yes, Tornado and Jethro Tull Live Bursting Out. Saw them too. What the fuck's going on here? I guess I was busy that year. Queen Jazz, 78. Ramones Road to Ruin, and Rush Hemispheres. Billy Joel 52nd Street. Huge albums. Well, as we've established, the acceptable C word here, at least, classic rock.
Yes.
Still fairly healthy, but what was on the radio? And that's, to me, that's an interesting component of a year's top hits, is if they're the kind of things that stay with you for decades, that even somebody who had not been born would know them. That is always very interesting to me, because sometimes the young thing here surprises me with her knowledge of songs from the Stone Age. Well, so consulting the Billboard Hot 100 for 1978, or if you strike out anything recorded or written by a person named Gibb, the Billboard Hot 17. I mean, minus the Gibbs, we got 17 tops. You know?
I mean, seriously, they dominated that shit.
Dominated. It was a dynasty. You know? All right. Well, of course, the 5 of the top 6. You know, as I said, we had the young Gibb, and he was good. Andy. You know, do it. Shadow Dancing. Do it right. Taking me through the night. Shadow dancing. Baby, you do it right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something banal like that. You know.
It was adorable. I loved that song.
I loved it.
And he kind of whispered it through the night. Like, I liked it.
Yeah, right? He's a Gibb, man.
I mean, come on.
And number 2, the Bros themselves with Night Fever.
Night fever, night fever. You're gonna have to show it. Or show it.
You know how to show it. Everybody in the audience knows how to show it. It's do it and show it.
Do it or show it or do it and show it.
It alternates.
I don't know what to fucking make of it.
Both. And you light up my life. Debbie Boone. No need to point out the Pat Boone tie there. Debbie Boone, the daughter of the Venerable One. And of
she's
course,
also venerable.
She's venerable, too. She had a big one that
Come
year.
on.
And the Bros again.
Oh, shit.
Same soundtrack album. Over which we're treated to John Travolta's Feet on the Pavement. Staying alive. Feel the city shaking and everybody baking.
Everyone's baking.
They're having a block party. They're baking. Feel the city shaking and everybody what? Quaking?
Quaking, taking. You know what? We suck.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Well,
staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. Yeah. And so on.
That kind of thing.
We don't want to kill them.
Here's a non-Gib tune for a change. And my intuition of you tells me that you liked this song by Exile called I Wanna Kiss You All Over.
All over again. Yeah, I think that is one of the sexiest songs ever. I just love that song.
That was going to rank well with you.
Very hot song.
Bee Gees once again, Saturday Night Fever once again. How deep is your love?
How deep?
Wait. What part? How
deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to know.
No, learn.
I thought it would know.
I need to learn. How deep is your love?
I don't know. No, or why wouldn't they want to know? They might want to know.
What is it with the lyrics that we can't remember about those songs?
They're great songs. I don't know.
Songs. Something about the lyrics just don't resonate.
Sorry, disco fans. We love disco. We just don't know the lyrics.
And I'm sorry, but I love this song. It has a nice guitar solo, which sometimes the bastards edit out, but it's a cool song by Player called Baby Come Back.
Oh.
Any kind of fool could see I was wrong. No, there was something.
Fucking
everything about you. Oh, that's a
Baby Come Back. Oh, it's a great song.
It's a great song.
Oh, I love that song.
I'm sorry. Another Gibb, damn it.
Fucking A.
Love is thicker than water, Andy Gibb. I don't know if we need to do it or not.
We're good. Yeah.
A Taste of Honey. I think they were sisters, these two. Boogie Oogie Oogie.
Oh, I'm gonna boogie oogie oogie till you just can't boogie no more.
And
boogie no more.
You can't boogie no more.
I love them.
They were great, and it was a great video. And I mean, one played bass and one played guitar. Lead guitar. They were just delightful to watch. Let's put it that way.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean.
Oh my.
Each one of them was once, twice,
three times a lady.
Commodores.
And I love you.
The schmaltzy soul ballad, nothing like
I
it.
love that song.
Absolutely, and yes, Grease is the word, Frankie Valli. A little Gibb pen behind that one.
Of course.
He's
behind everything.
And if it's either Grease or Saturday Night Fever, you're the one that I want, John Travolta and Living in the
Oh,
John,
yeah, ooh. Karaoke favorite.
I seem to recall hearing a filthy version of this
It
at
was
karaoke.
Way filthy, and you should have seen the jaws drop.
Yeah, I never heard that. Apparently it's a thing.
You had your forehead crinkled the whole time, and your nose was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I was cringing.
They totally bastardized that song.
See, bastardization was bothering me.
Of course, it was brutal.
And isn't there a Gibb behind Samantha Sang's hit Emotion? It's just emotion that's taking me over.
Oh shit, I thought it was something different. Yeah,
I think they do backing vocals on that.
I do like that song, but I don't think I know how it goes.
Finally, no Gibbs on Eric Clapton's Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally. Oh, I like that song.
Here in my arms.
Nice.
Even though grammatically incorrect, it's Lie Down, Sally, of
course, yes.
But
like he cares.
That would sound like shit, though.
And the good news is, it didn't stop him. Didn't hold him back.
I mean, I think Sally should hold the line and say, no, when you ask me properly, I will.
I'm just saying.
I mean, Sally,
of course.
Have some respect for yourself.
That's
Sally.
right.
Yeah.
Demand proper grammar.
Lie down, Sally.
Yeah.
And you might throw in please.
Maybe.
That might help.
Maybe.
And a song that, as much as that album is played out, the Rolling Stones' Miss You, I can still tolerate. It's kind of cool. Miss You. I know it's played big time.
Yes.
The whole album is. Billy Joel, Just the Way You Are. That's another one.
Love you just the way you are. And you got the whole sax situation going on.
It's nice. It really is.
I love
it's played,
it.
Though.
It is. Oh, for sure.
Sir Paul, outclassing the lovely Linda tune that we were talking about last time. Wings with a Little Luck. No, you don't know? Yeah.
I like Wings, but I don't know that one.
Big hit, but we're talking about 70s here. I'm surprised you know as many of them as you do, honestly.
So I'm impressing you again.
Yvonne Elliman, If I Can't Have You.
If I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby. If I can't have you.
Now, isn't that a Bee Gees pen song
I think
as well?
it is, yes.
I believe it is. Yvonne, oops.
Oh, wow. So basically, 78 belonged to the Bee Gees.
78 was the Bee Gees.
It
the
was.
year of the Bee Gees. And
When did Jive Talkin' come out? I fucking love that song.
I think Drive Talkin', I believe, main course was like 75.
Shit.
Fabulous record.
God, I love that record.
Great album. Nights on Broadway. Wow.
Oh, come on.
Well, that one was a mainstay in our house. That
It's brilliant. I love it.
main course album by the Bee Gees. Yvonne Elliman also was a backup singer for Eric Clapton, and you can tell, you can hear her voice on a lot of his tunes. Chic. Yowza, yowza, yowza.
Yowza, yowza, yowza.
Dance, dance,
Dance.
And it's probably a mercy
So
to
good.
Yeah, it is. It's totally good. And someone who came up in conversation before, Mr. Gilder, Mr. Nick Gilder, something about a child of a certain temperature.
Hot child in the city,
Bow, 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 bow.
running wild and looking pretty, yeah.
Absolutely. Not a bad radio tune that year.
Nope.
And the music buying public was really big on raspy-voiced females at that time because we had Kim Carnes and Bonnie Tyler with "It's a Heartache." Anybody got to try to do Bonnie Tyler?
I'm not.
No, we know the one. You know,
Yeah,
it's already playing in your head.
yeah, you know it.
Talk about anthemic, talk about iconic, talk about anything that ends in IC, and you're talking about Queen's double single, "We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions." That was 78.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Another one, great. Talk about, right?
That's it right there. I mean, do we need to say anything else? That's it. I mean, it's brilliant.
That's actually how they got the effect.
That's it, yes. I mean, it's brilliant. That's it. You have to just leave it there.
And honestly, as much as I love Barry Manilow, I'm not going to die if I don't hear "Can't Smile Without You" again.
I'm probably okay.
Probably okay with that.
I'm going to be all right.
Remember Johnny Mathis on the charts still, and Denise Williams. Too much, too little, too,
Too
late
late to
ever try again.
Ever try again.
Something like, yeah, exactly. You
I
know the
love
one.
it.
All right.
I love when you do that. Yeah, okay. Wait.
And looking on the bright side, glass half full, Meatloaf had 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That was that year. Right?
I want you. I need you. But there ain't no way I'm ever gonna love you. Now don't be sad. Don't be sad. 'Cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Oh, that song.
that was on the
that
radio
song
that year,
breaks
folks.
my heart. I'm like, you want me and you need me, but there's no way you're going to love me? What
I
the
know,
fuck?
right? And a band that just made a comeback of sorts, ABBA, saying, hey, you know what? Take a Chance on Me. Take a Chance on Me by ABBA was that year.
I love that
I'll
song.
just-
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. They do that at the beginning or some shit.
And they just sort of came back and put out, I think, some good stuff, and then
It's good.
they just pulled the plug on their plans again.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Okay.
Fair enough, you know.
Fair enough, but...
I get it.
Oh, this song... and do you remember, if so, my condolences, Dan Hill's Sometimes When We Touch. Thank God. Okay,
No,
we'll leave
so-
that out. Okay. Sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much. Well, the song
Oh,
is...
wait, no, that sounds familiar.
Sometimes when we touch,
The honesty's too much. I remember that
I
now.
kind of think the song's too
Oh,
much.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And Donna Summer, Last Dance. Let's dance.
Dance, the last dance.
Starts off as a ballad, turns into disco. That was the from the
God,
film.
her
Thank
voice,
God
she's
it's-
amazing.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. Introduced her, in large part, to the world. A great, great song. And as revolutionary sounding as "Burn Baby Burn" might be, this year all it meant, well, it was actually talking about burning, but it was a disco inferno
Oh,
by
yes.
the Tramps.
Burn, baby, burn. Disco inferno. Burn, baby, burn. Burn the mother down.
All right.
Hell
Disco
yeah.
was, and I was totally in for it. I love disco.
My older brother was very into disco as well, so that's why I know all this stuff is because of him.
I never said disco sucks. It was the thing.
I love disco.
It was this thing with suburban kids back then, rock
Yeah.
and roll fans, but I never said it.
No, then why would you?
Nope. Personal treasure of mine from Styx, "Come Sail Away."
Oh,
Beautiful.
come
soul-stirring
sail away.
song.
Come sail away. Come sail away with me.
Lad. It turns into this big sweeping thing.
It's
it starts
beautiful.
off with that piano and Dennis DeYoung. I just can't
Dennis
stand it, you know.
DeYoung. Oh, that voice.
I'm sailing away. It's just
There's no voice like that.
so beautiful.
It's just beautiful, yes.
Carly Simon getting emo with You belong to me. All right.
That was perfect. That was fantastic.
That needs no.
We don't need to say
work.
anything else. You need to say nothing
that
else.
was the song.
That was it. It was
you
perfect.
either know it or you don't. You know?
Well played.
And a song that I seem to recall being out one night, as have been so many times, that you actually like. Little River Band's Reminiscing.
I love that song. Are you kidding me?
We'll go dancing in the dark.
Walking in the park and reminiscing.
Absolutely. Good, good.
So good. I love the Little River Band.
We say it loud and proud here, folks. Mock us if you must, you know.
How dare you?
How dare you. Another big hit that year, well, was about a girl named Lola who was a showgirl.
Okay, now we're done with that.
Where did she do those shows? Well, we talked about
I
this
think
one
we
before.
know.
Yeah, I think we know. We had some great pop classical crossover on the radio from the Boys in Electric Light Orchestra with Sweet Talkin' Woman. Although I'm not sure the lyric on that one. Good. Okay, we won't do that one. Joe Walsh, solo, Life's Been Good.
Nice, I love that song.
Nice, right? And disco. Thank heaven disco wasn't dead because we had treasures like this one. Alicia Bridges, I Love the Nightlife.
I love the nightlife. I like to boogie on the disco right. Oh, yeah.
That voice, she has this really bizarre voice.
I love it.
All right, so good music was alive and well. The radio was abuzz with awesome tunes, as we see. Movies, maybe not so much. TV was kind of on the wane, but the golden age was past. But there would still be music for a few more years at least. That was good. And that's what happened way, way, way back in history in 1978. History strikes back.
All right, so that leads us to another song. This one is by The Main Squeeze. And because, remember, our entire theme is ChamelHeron. I can't even say it.
Yeah. See, it's not just... are you recording?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, sorry.
Is ChamelHeron. So there it is. So, you know, it's chameleon, but with a little heron in it. So
I feel vindicated that she can't pronounce it either.
And so the song's name is Karma. So, you know, you may see some repeats here. They're actually from L.A. They're funk, rock, and soul. And they're going on tour. They're going to be playing all over the country and in the UK and Canada. So let's take a listen to The Main Squeeze's Karma.
She leaves you broken on the boulevard. That's where I saw her. Oh. Black beauty, cherry red lipstick with blood on her tongue. I knew all along. Oh. She wants to rip my heart out. I'm gonna give her what she's asking for. They call me coming, I'm coming for you. Watch out. No pretty woman ain't gonna get away this time. They call me coming, I'm coming for you. Watch out. Karma's coming back around. How many more that came before? Believe the lies got tossed aside. Oh. And now you found the next lie. I'm not concerned. We deserve. Oh. You're trying to rip my heart out, but you do not realize who you're fucking with. Oh. They call me coming, I'm coming for you. Watch out. No pretty woman ain't gonna get away this time. They call me coming, I'm coming for you. Watch out. Karma's coming back around. Karma's coming back around. I know you like it. I know you like it, baby. I know it feels good. I know it feels good, Hey. I know it feels good to you, baby, does it hurt too? But you deserve everything you get. For every time you hear this song, for every time you did someone wrong, they say that karma's a bitch, but they got me twisted, baby. They call me karma, I'm coming for you, my child. No pretty woman ain't gonna get away this time. They call me karma, I'm coming for you, my child. Karma's coming back around. Karma's coming back around. Karma's coming back around.
Okay, and that was the main squeeze with Karma. Well, what say you, David? Do tell, do tell.
I find this fascinating, the new world order that you established a little while back. No, seriously. She's looking at me. What are you looking at me
New
for?
World Order?
What did I say?
I'm not an evil dictator.
No, I mean the new...
The refreshing new...
yes, that's what I mean. Refreshing and not at all tyrannical.
No.
Mode, or MO, rather, modus operandi,
Yes.
of listening to the song and then giving immediate reactions and taking down escape mental patient notes right there on the fly, because sometimes you come up with a lot of stuff to say and sometimes you don't. And I love this tune, but I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I mean, here, once again, Karma is coming for you, and it's really soulful. When I thought about all this before looking at the actual format to see what they consider themselves, and I totally agree. Soul, funk, rock. It's soulful, but it's really angry, aggressive soul, and I dig the shit out of that. And like it's the kind of thing I could see a really Tina Turner doing at her edgiest, or like Prince. It's a soulful song, but it really does rock. And I mean, it treads you down. It puts you in fear of itself. I mean, I'm Karma, and I'm coming for you again. And just like in the other Karma song, you believe them. It's really, really strong, and very impressed with the main squeeze.
Yeah, they are just, I mean, on top of their game. I love the falsetto. The use of the falsetto is something that will always kind of get me. The soul, and it's driving, it's dynamic, it was hypnotic, and it's just it's certainly something that you can dance to, but something that you might raise your fists at. It's just a little bit of all the things that I like. It's definitely rock. It's got an edge to it. But then there's also kind of something, again, I hate using this word so many times, but it's accessible. It's got a little bit of everything. It's poppy. It's a little dark, obviously, but they kind of, that dark is kind of shrouded in this kind of poppy tune, but again with an edge. And I just think that the instrumentation, the use of the effects on the backing vocals and the use of the effects on the main vocals, I just love it. There's kind of a nod to like lo-fi a little bit there, which I like. A little bit of nod. I feel a little nod to Motown in there. Maybe a little smoky nod. That's what I'm hearing from them. I'm definitely hearing that. And I can hear the Prince thing that you were mentioning for sure. I just think that this is a dynamite band. And I did actually go listen to more music by them after, and I just was equally impressed with all of it. But obviously this one fit theme, and they are going on, I don't even know, it's like a 36 date tour. I mean, they're going all over the place, and
there's hope for this generation yet.
I'm not surprised, because they're absolutely brilliant, and if I can catch them live, that's what I'd like to do since they're from LA. But definitely check out The Main Squeeze on Facebook at The Main Squeeze.
Well, I think that brings us to something for you.
Well, something for us, really. That is Various Songbirds, the Duo's Duel. For this feature, we name lines from songs and see if we can stump each other with lines. And sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. Most of the time, he stumps the shit out of me and I give him cotton balls, and he says he gives me cotton balls and he just screws me. But that's fine. We'll see what happens this time.
I will say this in advance that I'm still fully in lame deer protocol. Lame deer protocol is applied, so I'm going to try to burden her with nothing more than I would a big,
an enemy.
doe-eyed lame deer.
An enemy. Someone you deemed
what
a mortal
more can
enemy.
I do? So who's starting on this one?
Well, I'm going to start. So tell you straight, no intervention. To your face, no deception.
Wait. I know that one. Wow. Hold on.
Lightning round. You got about 10 seconds.
Oh, and this is going to be the Maria thing all over again. I know this tune. Tell it straight, no intervention, something. Shit, I'm out of time. What is it?
It's the Eurythmics, Would I Lie to You?
My song!
Tell you straight, no intervention. To your face, no deception. Yes.
I love this song.
I know you do.
That's how I knew it. Okay.
Damn it, the Maria syndrome.
Yeah, it's definitely...
It happens. This will do it.
Various
screws us.
That was fair game. I totally should have gotten that.
And you were there. We just were lightning rounding, or you and I will be sitting there on one for like 45 minutes.
That's exactly right. And I hope the same is not repeated here.
We shall find out.
And again, this is coming from a true heart with goodwill. Total goodwill, okay?
Who are you selling?
Which doesn't exactly jibe with the lyric here. You better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. But I'd like to meet his tailor.
Oh, shit, I know this one.
I understand it's easy because there are so many songs about people having their lungs ripped out. Who might rip out your lungs?
I'd like to meet his tailor. That's the line. That's the line that's got me. Fuck, I don't know.
All right, perhaps if I sing it, you'll scream it out and howl in agony, which is not what I'm looking forward to, of course. But
of course you are.
Better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. But I'd like to meet his tailor.
Werewolves of London.
Sorry,
Fuck me.
Werewolves of London.
That fair game. I should have got that one. Should have got that one. I'm like, I know that one. Oh, I hate it when I know that I know. All right. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine.
Sail on, silver girl, and I'll be your bridge over troubled water.
All right,
Simon
that was a little
Garfunkel.
too easy. I wasn't sure about that. Damn, that was real easy. Okay, all right. I know that song. I just can't.
And that's the part where they do it together too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mostly Art sings that, and it's just beautiful. All right, now I admit I'm a little less optimistic about this one after Werewolves, but maybe this one will just click. You know. Even though it's not as far out as ripping lungs out.
Sure. But, more commonplace?
Yeah, I would have to say so.
Okay.
Although it's batshit, too.
Oh, sure.
Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile scam, never was a quitter.
Never was
Tasty like a raindrop.
Tasty like a raindrop. She's got the look, Roxette. And I said, na 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 na. She's got the look. Those lyrics are very memorable.
Oh yeah, walking like a man, hidden like. Well, first he sings it, and then later on it's like walking like a man.
It's great. I love that.
I don't know what Per Gessel and Marie Fredriksson sounded like. The late, unfortunately, Marie Fredriksson.
I can't even talk about that.
Sounded like separately. I really don't, but together,
don't even care.
Roxette is magic.
Roxette,
really
I just love them. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I gave you one there.
You didn't fucking give me one.
All right, you earned it. You know?
You normally totally and completely just rip my heart out with these. I heard 100 drummers whose hands were ablazing. I heard 10,000 whispering and nobody listening.
And it's a hard. Bob Dylan, hard rain's gonna fall. Thank you so much.
All right, I need to make these harder. Shit, okay.
All right, well, I admit I'm a little...
Yeah, you know what? They're over this little...
But this little more,
prefacing.
This is more your era, though. This is more your generation.
You don't care.
My loneliness is killing me.
Oh, my God.
I must confess, I still believe. See? When I'm not with you,
Britney
I lose
Spears.
my mind.
Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. This is not my era.
Okay, it's not your era, but I figured you'd have to
Fuck
know
yeah,
that
I know.
one.
I love Britney. Bitch.
When Britney gets something good, it's okay. I mean, Toxic is just that'll always be I'll spaz over Toxic too. That's a great song. So Britney doesn't ruin songs.
Well, she does because she can't sing, but that's okay. And I laid traps for troubadours who get killed before they reach Bombay.
An absolutely fantastic lyric, "Sympathy for the Devil" by the Rude.
All right, I'm going to have to make these harder, like you do for me.
That's just...
I'll have to make them harder.
I can't help it if I'm good. Okay.
You can't help it if you're just fucking mean.
This
was super fucking nice.
I can't help it if you're handing them to me on a silver platter.
Okay, we'll do it anymore.
Well,
I will make them fucking hard.
I'm trying to, but it doesn't.
Whatever.
Well, you got a couple, didn't you? Okay, this one, I think you'll get this one. Maybe. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
They wake at dawn because all the birds are singing. Two total strangers, but that ain't what they're thinking. Outside it's cold, it's misty, and it's raining. Oh,
I got nothing.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Maybe I know it, but I don't know the lyrics. That happens.
Okay.
I got nothing.
I'll give you another part. It's okay.
Oh, wow.
Now hold on a minute before we go much further. Give me a dime so I can phone my mother.
Oh, I know that. Oh, I know it, but it's not coming to me. Okay, my time's up.
If you want my body.
Oh, I love that song.
Sexy.
Oh, I know I knew that. Oh, I'm going to... Curses. Curses.
She's shaking her fist at the sky.
I'm so sad that I fucked that up.
It's like Snoopy and the Red Baron.
Oh,
kind of shit
hang on
here.
a second. Curses.
Foiled again.
If it wasn't for those meddling kids.
It's the meddling kids. I am basically the meddling kids.
You are all meddling kids.
Well,
I'm ripping off the disguise right now, and it reveals David. Look it.
All right, I'm going to do something here. Just a quickie little 1-2 surprise with Sax Suckers, because we didn't do Sax Suckers. I'm going to see if you can guess the song based on a musical snippet instead of a lyric or a humming a melody. So based on this little snippet, can you tell me what this is?
Stevie Wonder.
Imagine crafting an introductory riff so perfect that... What's the name of the song?
Sir Duke.
Sir Duke, thank you very much. It's funny to do music ones,
Well, it's funny to hear sax do that.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
No.
That's not right.
That's all we got, though.
Another Britney. It just so happens. Oops, I did it again.
Oops, I did it again. Thank you very much for totally nailing Sax Suckers. That's a thing. It's kind of a placation to you for the injustices heaped upon you during various songbirds.
It's sad that you have to have a whole other mini sort of one-off feature to do that for me.
It's kind of like a soul Band-Aid.
It's kind of sad. Yeah. It's a sad situation for me.
And it's a sad situation, and it's getting more and more absurd. I think sorry seems to be the hardest word here.
All right, so we are going to do another song. This one is by Out of Controller, and the song is You'll Get Yours. They're from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and they are power punk, garage, and pop. Let's listen to Out of Controller.
Can't
Okay, that was Out of Controller with You'll Get Yours. Where do you stand on them?
Well, first, I love the name Out of Controller. I mean, it's a statement, and they certainly live up to it. This is just a deliciously unpretentious, high-energy, 2-minute pop-punk rave-up, and with decidedly British invasion feel to it with the woos. I mean, I just loved it. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like wagging its finger, but this is not menacing like the other tunes. Even if it's lyrically telling you, you know what, it's coming. Still, you can't help but feel good while this thing is playing. I love this tune. What do you think of Out of Controller?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, that's why it's on the show. I thought it was fun. I like a nice little dose of punk. And definitely power punk, and I love the pop sensibilities in this one because sometimes punk is just too far one way or the other for me. That's why I really like Green Day, because they have the pop sensibility because, I mean, he writes just amazing songs, but then they're also obviously punk. So I really dig that. I liked it. I liked that, like you said, that they were wagging their finger, you'll get yours. And I thought it was a fun way to say you'll get yours. It certainly wasn't menacing, but, it let you know that shit was going to go down, and I liked it. I absolutely love it, and I love that it was kind of quick, where we got in, we got out. We had a good time. It's definitely something you can, kind of dancey and fun. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I want to kind of, if I can, try to give us a little bit of everything. So we're hearing some different mixes of music because obviously the theme allows us to draw from different genres, where sometimes we select a genre and say, send us this kind of music. So Out of Controller is a great add to this ChamelHeron or Heron. I can't even say it.
When you make stuff up, it's
a tough one. It's a tough one. But it's basically karma plus a heron. So there you go. So that's great. So now it is you for some results.
Some results, yes, from our challenge, which is hell yes or oh hell no, that we always present to you. And for this feature,
we dropped the O.
Oh.
No, it's just hell yes or hell no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the O didn't make the poster look right.
Superfluous
so.
O?
Yeah,
okay.
It was a superfluous O.
It threw things out of balance.
Yeah, it did.
It was not,
so now it's just hell yes or hell no.
Not feng shui enough. Okay.
Right.
All right. And for this feature, we consider bands or artists and can determine if we're in for them or out against them. We also ask you to weigh in. We want to know your opinions and what you think. And this was actually much more of a sweep than I would have thought, honestly. The artist in question, Jane's Addiction. And 99% of the respondents said hell yes to Jane's Addiction. And only one said hell no, and nobody seems to have been neutral, but I'd say that's one hell of a landslide for Jane's Addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And as for me, well, it's kind of an interesting mental exercise for me to think of a song so iconic or so brilliant that even Perry Farrell's voice couldn't ruin it or destroy it. Honestly, so I really can't think of any. Jane's Addiction isn't bad, not terrible anyway, for me, and I guess they deserve credit for being the first of a wave of alternative music artists, and, putting out a live album first was a pretty bold move, and it got them attention. But they really don't hold my attention, and on a desert island with nothing but Jane's Addiction records, I'm not entirely sure I wouldn't just sit and remember what all the other great acts sounded like, and wouldn't bother playing them lest I forget. I don't know. Lest that they replace my idea of music altogether. So I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan really at all. But I do wonder one thing, though, that they have a song called Jane Says. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, is this the same Jane about whom Maroon 5 wrote their first album?
I don't think so.
I mean, they're both from L.A. They both hail from Los Angeles.
I think it's a different Jane, but...
Because if so, this dame sure inspired a lot of I
don't think she would
music.
date both of those.
Yeah, I don't care for them. What do you think of them?
Well... So I had made a decision on how I felt about Jane's Addiction, and then something interesting happened. One of the things that we do is we leave the TV on for the dog when we leave.
Oh.
Because it makes her feel like there's somebody there, or at least we think that it does. And we usually leave it on something, because we're musical people, and so we left it on. And they're showing concerts. And so I left and I came back and I'm sitting there with the dog and I'm just petting her and I'm like, I'm like, this is good. I'm like, what are you listening to, Penny? And then I see Dave Navarro and I'm like, oh. So it's a 2012.
Was she traumatized?
No, it's a 2012 concert of them performing live. and I thought, okay, this is good research. I should listen. I haven't, I've only listened to what's on the radio and all that, so I'm listening, and I really liked it.
Wow.
It was really good. And even Perry Farrell live is better than the recordings to me. And his voice, it's affected. It's very echoey. It's not quite as blood curdling. It's kind of, it's very nice. And the presentation, what they did together, some of the new songs at the time that they were introducing, I've changed my stance on them because I did some homework and I went and watched other videos, 2 other concert videos, and I just thought, I underestimated them. They're really good, and not just because Dave Navarro is one of the fucking hottest men that ever walked the earth, but because it's so good. I'm
glad that's not a factor.
No, it's not. I was an aside. I just want to make sure everyone knows that's not what it is. But I think I'm gonna listen to more Jane's Addiction.
I do remember reading about them getting back together because he was one of the originals before Red Hot Chili Peppers and all that. So it's interesting. I didn't come across anything in the top half dozen or something like that really did anything for me. I scanned a couple of albums and picked, okay, let's try this era, let's try that. And I don't know. I think Perry Farrell kind of ruins it for me a little bit. But they're okay, and I'm certainly willing to give them a try. But
I was surprised. I was going to be a hell no, but I think I'm a hell... okay.
I'll probably never change my position on Men Caught Stealing, but...
Actually, the live version of that was much better because he changed it around and it was really good.
I can kind of see where he would be better live.
It felt organic. It felt good. It didn't feel overly affected or anything. It was very interesting, and then you get to see him emote, and he's so emotive, and he's so into it, and he's interacting with the crowd, and he's... I was not expecting it, and had we not done what we do and left it on for the dog, I would never have seen it, and I would have come in here with a hell no, but I'm a hell okay.
Well, if you ever leave the TV on for the dog on anything remotely like today's music, like, hip-hop...
We wouldn't do that to her.
I will call the Humane Society.
I understand. It is cruel and unusual.
It would be.
I get it.
You wouldn't do anything like that.
No, I wouldn't do anything like that. No, we leave it on mostly like classic, or like grunge or whatever, that kind of thing. We have left her with country before. Unknowingly, we didn't know country was coming on after.
Oh, no.
She seemed a little traumatized from that.
Yeah.
We apologized profusely. We felt horrible, and then, I had to pet her a lot, and I had to hold her, and she's okay. But she says, if you ever do that again, I'm walking. Yeah. I'm out. I'm going to go live with Uncle David.
I mean, when you break trust that badly.
I mean, I know. Yeah. I felt bad. It was unintentional.
You're supposed to protect her. Yeah.
I am I had one job.
Yeah, that's it.
I had one job. Yeah. Okay, so that takes us to another artist or band, and in this case, it's Dead Poets Society with a song called Ruin You. I don't think that's a thinly veiled threat. And they're from L.A. or Boston. I couldn't make it out from their page. I think Boston, but they may be in L.A. now. They're blues rock, and indie rock. That's how they describe themselves. And I'll let you be the decider on that. But here is Dead Poet Society.
You know I am willing to die for you, and I know that we fight for you. Are mine and you are here with me. I know that we're in danger, fighting strong to fuel the anger. You are wrong and you are in the way. I know I wouldn't move on now, only you are letting me let go. I'll move on before you try, and I'll move on before you try. I know I've found you hopeless into the ground. You let me down. I noticed you missed me. I can't forgive you. Let me drown. I feel the temperature rising, fire burning up in your eyes, and I will feel the rage until it's time. I know this isn't the answer, something in it feels so right, and I will soak it in. I know I wouldn't move on now, only you are letting me let go. I'll move on before you try, and I'll move on before you try. I know I've felt you hopeless into the ground. You let me down. I noticed you missed me. I can't forgive you. Let me drown.
Okay, that was Dead Poets Society, and as usual, I go ahead and volley over to you for first reactions.
Yeah, well, this, I love the flair for dramatic that this band has, and this song is just, with all of its abrupt stops, and there's this great section with these overlaid simultaneous vocal parts. And yes, I mean, that's pretty progressive stuff, that's Yes-style stuff, but that's not saying they sound like Yes. There is a sizzling guitar break in this one, and the whole thing is a fantastic study in tension and release. It holds back the damn bursts, and oh look, everything's under control again. No, it isn't, and it does that, and it plays with you, and it's heavy as hell, and really, really satisfies. So this one, you get your yayas out to this one. I like this tune a lot.
Yeah, I love that. One of the first things I said, and one of the first things that I noticed is that guitar creates so much tension throughout.
Yes.
And I felt the tension, and I felt like, something bad could happen to me, which I like. And I feel the Franz Ferdinand. I definitely feel a lot of influence there, and I love it. His voice is certainly something to me that can be heard all over the radio stations now that play only the decent music that comes out now, which is hard to find. But I love the guitar solo. I mean, seriously, chops are us. I mean, what the hell? And I love the ending. Well, because at the end, there's kind of that chant. So I can picture people, with their hands up in the air singing this back to them in a packed stadium. I really, really liked the end. The end is crazy with the talking behind the vocals. So there's the vocals, and then there's the talking of the same lyric. I love those plays. Yeah. That's great. And then that outro. It's like the final gasp. It's just the final thing before we head out, before you're completely ruined. It's just one last gasp for you, and then they finish you off.
That's what they say, finish him.
I absolutely love this song, and I think this band is one to watch, and they are definitely very beloved out there already. So definitely find them on Facebook at Dead Poet Society Band. All right, so now it's time for the new theme. And what is that new theme?
I believe it's Come on, booby, kite my eider.
Yes, so that's Three Birds. So this is Kite My Eider, which obviously is the Light My Fire. Songs about the elements, air, earth, fire, water, or natural disasters is what we're seeking this time. So come on, baby. Kite My Eider. So if you have any songs like this, or you know anyone who has songs like this, send them in. We are looking for songs about the elements. Not songs from Earth, Wind, and Fire, but songs about those very things. So that leaves us to perhaps a final word from you.
Yes, actually, it was sort of a flyby, if you'll excuse that cheeseball pun, called More or Less. More, that's a bird, not like Othello, the Moor of Venice. That's an actual bird, M-O-O-R. And it's supposed to be 60 seconds or less, okay, maybe perhaps a little bit more, to give a State of the Union for music of any time, any genre, any
No,
trend.
60 seconds or less, that's it. That's all we got. I'm going to cut you off.
Sorry. All right, well, as a card-carrying curmudgeon and confirmed dinosaur, in my world, the old ways are best, as I have waxed autistic on this show many times about. So you think I'd be delighted that, as the Carpenters sang, it's yesterday once more. Even I can't find fault with the embrace of old-school media like vinyl records, which I never gave up on. But one trend truly has me mystified, and for an old goat like me, it's a very thin line between mystified and annoyed. Cassette tapes. Yes, to my incredulity, some folks are actually releasing cassettes again.
Nope.
Yeah, right?
No.
Former Kiss guitar, the most fragile media of all time. Former Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley has a box set available now of all his releases in the archaic medium, each one in a different color, too. I suppose the heightened hand-eye coordination of this generation from years of joystick and controller use would give the young an advantage in dealing with the challenges subsequent to the telltale hellish squeaking and bogging and the extraction of the plastic case trailing 12 feet of brown ribbon. And I'm sure they'll be just great at the special operations involving the tiny little screwdriver, the splicing tape, and the pencil to wind it all back up. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Or sometimes your finger, but your finger is sometimes too big.
Yeah, the pencil is best.
The pencil's best.
Some of you know what I mean by that. And the reward, of course, those high-quality mixtapes of old. But alas, with my gnarled arthritic fingers and failing eyesight, I'll have to pass. Sometimes the old ways are for the new generation, and that's how I feel about that, more or less.
Well said, sir. My goodness. Well, you know, if I haven't already put you to work, I'm going to have you close out the show as per usual.
Well, anything that involves wrapping puppies in neat little blankets is something I'm always game for. Our next offering is a new episode of Winging It. Enjoy our 15 to 45-minute show that covers one topic. No music, no features, no stinking badges, just mainstream music chat, opinions, and uproarious laughter. We're telling you in advance. If you're not laughing uproariously, it's your problem.
We're level setting expectations.
Yeah,
I think it's important.
I mean, know that the fault is in you if
That's
you're not
correct.
laughing uproariously.
It's not us.
It's not us, yeah. Your boys are coming at you every week, and subscribe to our feed at BOAF On Air. That's BOAF On Air, as in Birds of a Feather On Air, .podbean.com, and enable notifications so you never miss a show, or subscribe and listen on your favorite platform. And remember that we can't grow our flock without you, so please share us on your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. feeds, and talk about us around the actual or virtual water cooler. And I suppose, and I guess, that only leaves for you to say,
let's get the flock out of here.
This has been Birds of a Feather on What the Flock Radio.